Well, good morning to you. Today is chicken processing day. This is the second to the last one that we'll do this year. But I wanted to kind of walk you through our setup. We're not going to record a lot of this because it seems like every time that we post something, even though we follow the rules, there's like, I don't know, we're just not going to record a whole bunch of it just because they put restrictions on it, and I don't yet maybe understand how all of that works. We'll post some of it, but not a lot of it this time. But I wanted to show you our setup. Right here we have the scolder. We get it up to around 148, 150. We have our plucker right over here, and this is where all of the feathers get removed. Over here is our killing, our killing cones, and then we have what we call blood buckets to catch any blood so that the ground stays sanitary there, because we do have other animals. Of course, all of our animals except for the ducks are put up because we don't want any issues. And then over here we have our table, and it's up on these blocks because this table sits too low, and like a couple hours into this my lower back is killing me because the table height isn't high enough. So I asked Edward to raise it up, and he came up with something. He did this in the middle of our last processing, and it worked fantastic. We have our Myers Clean Day soap. That is what we put in the scalder. It helps release all of those feathers, so it helps clean and release all the feathers and get past any oils that the chicken might have on it, and it helps the feathers come out really easy in the plucker. So that's our basic setup. We do have, last night I sharpened all the knives. I did not record that because, well, I didn't. It was an exhausting day yesterday. Anyway, I've sharpened all the knives and we're ready to go. Edward went to go get a few more bags of ice. The nice thing is it's going to be down in the 40s tonight, so it'll be a lot easier to regulate. We won't have to use as much ice to regulate the temperature in where the birds are. Now this time, about half of our birds I'm going to debone, and I'm going to be taking the bones and putting them into stock pots today to create stock. And then the meat that I'm deboning, I'll remove the skins as well. And I'm going to be cubing up because I'm going to be canning those tomorrow. So yay, I'm going to can meat for my first time, but I'm going to can it using bone broth. I'm hoping that that just makes it taste so delicious. The bone broth, what I use in my base for my bone broth is organic apple cider vinegar. That's a huge deal. It helps pull all of the, break down cartilage and pull all of the nutrients out of the bone marrow into your broth. So it's super, super good. And they're going to cook all day today. Well, half the day today and then half the day tomorrow. So a good 24 hours in the stock pot will create some really good stock. It probably could go longer, but that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I put ginger in there, just the whole ginger. I take a bunch of organic ginger and I snap it into pieces that are chunks that are big. I put it in there, some Celtic sea salt, and I took onions out of my garden and left the peels on. Of course, I rinsed the dirt off and I cut the roots off of it, but I left the peels on, cut them in half, put those in there, and it already smells divine because of the onion and the ginger and the apple cider vinegar together are very good smelling. Aromatic, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but I'm hurting myself. So anyway, this is our setup today, what our plans are. We just picked up another 500 pounds of feed. They did not get it in bags again, and I think they're hiring because they don't have anybody to bag it. So we're gonna figure that out. We have a few totes that we'll just clean and dry out. This is our broiler feed for our last batch. We won't have to buy any more broiler feed after that. So it's very, very exciting. And then today we put out new baby meat birds out onto pasture. and take the 2 baby roos that are in with the baby meat birds and the brooder, and we put them into the nursery as a transition point to grow out a little bit before we put them in with the hens. They're too little and the chickens will just peck them to death, and I don't want that to happen. I need them to be able to fight for themselves and they're too little still for that. So yeah, that's the plan for today. It's going to be a busy work day. And amongst all that, if I have energy, I've got to mow the back part of the lawn here. I usually do all the mowing because I like it. I put in my earbuds in, I listen to worship music, and I worship God while I mow, and sometimes I can't mow enough, right? But back here all needs to be mowed. I got to mow up on the upper part of the pasture so that it gets really not low. I mow it on its highest setting, but it really allows all that grass to fall down and provide nutrients to that pasture so that in the spring next year when it comes up, it's going to be rich and green and so unbelievably healthy. So depending on how many trees we fall on it. It might be a reconstruction year, but either way, it'll be good for it. So, and then later today, which I'll try and grab the camera for this, I've got to go and drench my sheep. My friend Jessica came over and she's helping me understand how to care for sheep, and she checked their eyes and showed me what to look for, and they're a little bit anemic, which means they have a little bit of a parasite load. I'm not using any dewormers or anything like that because we're going to eat these sheep, and so I don't want to put anything in them that I'm going to be ingesting. So, but I don't want them to have parasites either. If I have to go that route, I will. But I'm going to try some natural things first, which I have a bunch of pressed garlic, so it's like garlic paste, and I'm going to mix that with apple cider vinegar, put it in some syringes, and I'm going to drench them. Then I'm going to turn around and drench them again tomorrow evening, and then a few days later I'll drench again, and then I'll look and see how their manure is and how they're doing. I'll check their eyes. If I think they need it again, I'll do it again. But I don't know how many times you can do it before you shouldn't, but it's garlic and apple cider vinegar, so I think we're pretty good and safe. Anyway, that's the plan today. I'll probably, I won't be showing any of the killing, that's for sure, because we will get our video removed off of YouTube if I do that. But I think that the rest of it I think will be safe, but yeah, I'll just probably show a little bit of that. Anyway, like always, we're so grateful for you, and we're grateful for the support of our YouTube channel, and I'm blown away, and I know Edward and I have talked about this often, that you know there would be people that would even care about what we're doing for our dream and what we're doing throughout our day, and actually want to come along on this journey with us, and we're humbled by that, deeply humbled. So we're so grateful for you. All right, time to start butchering.
Alright guys, welcome back to the homestead. We just finished processing our second batch of meat chickens, and so now these guys are kind of graduating from the brooder and they're going to be moving out to pasture under the chicken tractor that is no longer full of chickens. So we're going to go ahead and get these guys put into the tub and we'll get them moved up to the chicken tractor. Well, they sure make a lot of noise when you scoop them up and move them into a tub. So, all right, on to the chicken tractor. Guys, you guys are all set up in your new house. You guys have green grass.